Welcome to Iron Summit, the podcast where we dive deep into the art and science of becoming your best self, blending expert insights on strength training, smart recovery, optimal nutrition, and mindset mastery to help you elevate your game.
What's up, guys? If you're looking to level up your training, click the link in the description and check out the Iron Summit Gains Emporium. Our strength training plans are designed to help you pack on muscle, and with our software, you can track every workout right from your phone. Plus, you'll have direct access to us for any questions along the way. Don't just train, level up your training.
All right, what's up?
What's up?
We are live. Ryan requested I wear these shades for today's episode.
Max was
All
getting
right.
insecure, and then he put them back
Did
on.
Did you lose or win a deal or something? Or
Josh, is it true or not true that Ryan asked me to put the shades on right before we went live?
yes.
Don't
Play the
lie.
fifth.
There we go. There we go.
I don't want to get hurt. I lose either way.
Now
Max
Ryan,
is a gentle giant.
yeah, I would have taken my chances with me over Ryan. Wait,
Yeah.
I'm going to intro you first, Josh. Here we go.
Okay. Shoot.
All right, intro, Josh Shadle, one of my closest friends. Known Josh for, I don't even know how long, close to 15 plus years now. Josh is, first and foremost, one of the best body workers, massage therapists. I don't even know what you'd classify your treatment as. Torture agents certainly in the US, probably in the world. Also, serial entrepreneur, his own recovery clubs, blood testing businesses, and is a world-class athlete on his own. Actually, you're out of Alabama today, right? For Masters Nationals for the 200 and 400. Are you doing the 100 this year?
No. Not fast enough yet.
I've been trying to talk Josh into like putting on 20 pounds and just becoming a 100 meter guy.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, imagine that with 20 more pounds.
Yeah, that would be, hey, I support it.
Did I miss anything, Josh? Also has a pretty big social media platform, Shadle's Table on YouTube, where he does a lot of cool content around massage therapy and body work. What am I missing?
Yeah, man. That's it. You nailed it. Thank you.
Sweet. So before we went live, Ryan was trying to ruin the episode and ask you a bunch of questions first.
Just catching up with Josh.
He was
and Max
just
is
getting
like,
excited,
yeah.
man.
Yeah. So let's pick that up. Ryan, now you can ask your questions.
Okay, so I'm just always generally curious with athletes, like how you're training week of before a big competition. So you're competing Thursday through Sunday. It's, Monday. What does your week look like in terms of shakeouts, warm-ups, training? Obviously trying to recover too in there, but feel good for race day. What does that look like? Nutrition and your workouts.
I mean, all I'm really doing, I'm keeping the nutrition pretty much the same, just making sure I keep it super, super clean, nothing, no cheating, really focusing heavily on sleep. And the biggest thing I'm worried about is the humidity here, just training in Colorado and Boulder. It's so freaking dry. I think, I've been sleeping in Netherlands, Colorado too. So sort of like hoping to get a little bit of an altitude advantage for the 400, but at the same time, it's just so freaking dry. So, I'm trying to get outside, do some light drills, some light runs, some light shakeout stuff. I do a ton of like skipping, moving, just trying to get the heart rate up a little bit, but mostly just like moving stuff.
Mhm.
Like I just got into Huntsville, Alabama today. So I just did kind of like a shakeout thing. And then after this podcast, I'm actually just going to go out and do more like shakeout drills, skipping drills, A skip, B skip, just some light, very light aerobic stuff. And then tomorrow I'll do, so 2 days out from the first heat of the 400, I'll do something short and intense.
Okay.
So same kind of warm up that I do every single time, drills, skipping, and then I'll do some starts and I'll do a couple like 20 to 30 meter sprints and then maybe like one slightly hard strider, I would say, just to kind of, I don't know, open up the jets a little bit.
Yeah.
That'll be tomorrow. And then Wednesday, honestly, probably like 50% of that, probably less drills, maybe a start, maybe a strider. Probably nothing like all out, but just try to stay like peppy,
Hmm.
not
Yep.
not too rested. Um, yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
much it.
So you do taper into it. You do some explosive stuff a couple days out, and then pretty chill the day before. It is interesting.
Yeah,
Like I've noticed this, Ryan, from competing in powerlifting. Like in wrestling, I think wrestling, one, wrestlers are a little sick in the head, and two, I don't think it impacts you as much because it is a lot of skill as well. Like you can brawl or like get one good go in like day of competition, and it's not like that maximum neural output. Whereas like powerlifting and track, like you're like saving it up for the day of.
Yeah,
Like
that makes sense. Yeah,
yeah,
I was kind of thinking while he's going through that, like you want that high like octane output, so you got to recover kind of like a powerlifting meet.
for
I
sure.
guess in terms of nutrition, like day of, what do you do to make sure? Like obviously a lot of quick burning carbs and stuff like that. 400 meters, like a gut wrenching race. How are you balancing like GI distress and versus let me put some jet fuel in here so I can burn hot?
That's a
I
good
mean
question.
the great news is like, in working with Coach Miller, we're just trying to get into the same routine. So throughout the year in Boulder, Boulder and Inglewood, they put on a lot of track and field races.
Okay.
So I'm pretty much just doing what I've been doing, similar kind of workout routine, a warm up routine, and same kind of food, but probably just like a little bit less and a little bit cleaner. I'm still gonna just keep doing the clean beef and clean white rice that I've been doing, the sushi rice. Um, I'll back off on the sauces, right? Just cleaning it up a little bit, and then I kind of like to do like dates. So I've been having some dates, and then I drink electrolytes.
Okay.
So if I feel like I need like a little bit of sugar, I'll just do the dates. And then I
And
kind
that's
of
like,
cut. Yeah,
how
I
long
just cut.
before a race will you stop consuming carbs?
I mean, the meal is probably easily, I would say, 3.5 hours out,
Yeah,
and then I'm basically doing electrolytes. And if I feel like I want to pop a date, I pop a date, and then nothing other than the electrolytes about an hour out. But I honestly haven't had any GI distress at all. I mostly just want to be feeling, ready to go, maybe a little bit hungry, but
for sure.
not like too hungry. Yeah, and I'll probably do like a coffee a couple hours out.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to ask about coffees. I feel like caffeine would be a big performance enhancer if you time it right and do it right. But yeah, that is interesting, the GI distress, just because I hear a lot of track athletes talk about that. But I guess also just coming from wrestling, like after cutting weight and then bombing your stomach with a bunch of liquids and food, like you got to be a
Yeah,
little careful about what you put in and like how you're feeling. Because I've
I
definitely
can't
had a couple,
imagine.
yeah, I've had a couple matches.
Dude,
Like
I
first
don't
period,
know,
I'm
man.
like throwing up a little bit.
I I feel like track and field is like super low barrier to entry. You need like shoes, maybe spikes, some shorts, a tank top, and for the races you need the bib. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's just so easy. In fact, nationals I did in Lexington, Kentucky, I met this lady, and she raced in her bare feet.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, I just race better in my bare feet. That's how I've always done it. That's how I grew up doing it. And I was like, man, it's just
That's
like less is more in sprinting.
Was she fast?
Yeah,
That's so cool.
yeah, she won. I can't remember. I think she was either 400 or 800 or both.
Dang.
If I
So
ran
Yeah.
400 meters in my bare feet on a track, I'd be like bleeding.
Max,
Yeah.
let's do it. Maybe that's a good next video. We do
Yeah.
400 repeats with
I lo-
Josh.
I I love like these races because I mean I count my blessings just from being a body worker, feeling so uh, healthy to just be able to show up. I feel so confident to just be like I'll do my thing and I'm not worried about getting injured. But when you go into Masters Nationals, you're like, damn, like this guy can barely get off the ground. He's like everything's duct taped, and then he's going and doing the triple jump. You're like, wait, this guy couldn't get off the ground and he's duct taped, putting spikes on, and then he goes and does the triple jump, and you're like, well, that's pretty impressive.
So do you do any body work like, day or two before? Obviously that's your background and, just good, like getting muscles loose, body loose, fascia loose. How do you think about
Yeah,
that before a big competition?
I think too much, Ryan, way too much.
And you're doing it on yourself, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know this, Max. Like, I'm always tinkering constantly, and it's just changing exponentially with me. It's like one minute you know, I was using the Rumble roller. You know the Rumble roller? I think that's like the best foam roller on the market. It's like got all these knobby thumbs,
Yeah.
thumbs on it, right? And they make an extra firm one, so I got a travel one, so I've been using that. And then very recently, because I'm trying to put some things together about how to treat the body through the hands and through the feet. David Weck talks a lot about this, as the body is sort of like an X, it's a spiraling, coiling, rotational device. And so everything kind of meets through the middle, right? And we think about that with the core. There's this rotation, right? But if you don't have the movement through the hands and the feet, because the hands have 27 joints and the feet have 33 joints, that's 1/3 of all the joints in the body is in the hands and the feet. I'm on the way to Colombia, where my mom is driving here. I ordered those, like, I don't know what you call them, like Sadu boards. I actually
Mm.
I actually got them, so let's see, let's show you.
Oh, just like they got like the nails on it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep. And then I got this.
Oh, for the back.
Yeah,
There
but
you
you can
go.
use it. You can use it on your hands and your feet.
You
And so
like
then I
it?
got, oh, dude, it's unbelievable. And I got these spiky balls. So probably shouldn't be doing this, but I was, driving down from Columbia, South Carolina to Alabama. I put the spiky ball on my left foot so I could roll out my left foot, because my left foot's the one that's more restricted. That's the one I feel like I can't open my hip and my glute and my low back.
Hmm.
And using these boards. And then so I put this in the back seat of the car. So I would sit on this and my back would be against this in the car while I drove down. So every time I get out of the car and fill up gas, I'm like, I'm looser. So, and I was doing similar stuff on the airplane, and I got off the airplane, I'm like, I'm getting looser. So I know I'm moving in the right direction, because how many people say like they get looser off the
You
airplane
get tight
driving,
when you
right?
sit there. Well,
Yeah.
what's the science behind those like needle boards? It's like increasing a ton of circulation, right? Because you're getting
Yeah, I think
like you're
science is a
basically
science is a strong word, Max, in body work. um,
whatever you want to call it. What's your theory behind?
Anecdotal
Yeah,
evidence.
theory, I like that word. Well, I think the Sadu boards and the acupressure point boards, pads, it's a lot like acupuncture. And acupuncture, they sort of line up the meridians, the connections. And I used to kind of like poo-poo that, but it makes a lot of sense when you think about the fascial lines that go through the body, that spiral through the body, and they anchor in different places throughout the body. And the places that they definitely anchor are in the hands and the feet, where the thickest amounts of fascia are. Like in your hands and your feet, you can have as much as 5 millimeters of fascia. 5 millimeters, like that's a lot of fascia. And so the theory, I guess, is that when we think about the body being mostly fluid, mostly water, um, fascia is almost entirely water. And there's this flow, there's this energy, and all the things that they're finding out about fascia is it's like this electrical system. It almost like powers everything, it connects everything, ligaments, bones, organs, muscles. And so it was actually your dad, Max, who's always saying, tight, not, what I was saying, it's like not firing, or it's inhibited. He's like, no, 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 it's restricted. I was like, yeah, you know what? It is restricted. Aging fascia is this dry, restricted fascia. And if you think of like a garden hose, that has like 20 kinks in it, it might be like, spitting out a little water. But as you start to unkink the garden hose of all these, 20, 30 million different kinks, the flow starts to increase. So my idea with the hands and the feet is sort of, I'm thinking of people that are really, really busy, don't have a lot of time, don't have a lot of energy, and they're tired of doing a little bit of everything and getting nowhere. And I'm like, where could you focus all the energy and maximize your results? And
Yeah.
that's why I'm thinking with these Sadhu boards, these acupressure point boards, it's like, well, everything anchors in the hands and the feet. Wouldn't that kind of reset the entire systems, making sure that where we have the most patterns, we have the most movement, we have the most flow? So unlocking, the hands and the feet where there's the most restrictions, where there's the least amount of flow because you use them the most, it's going to unlock everything. And without a doubt, it's working.
Wow. So how do you I like that you're trying to figure out how to incorporate it in like everyday life. How do you think about like what percentage of somebody's training time they should spend on something like this? Because in college, I definitely wish I would have done more, yoga, stretching, body work, but it was like you got conflicting things going on. It's like I already had, 2 hours of practice this morning. I had an hour and a half lift. We had a
Class.
massage class,
Not to mention
try to get
that
some sleep. Yeah, social
Yeah.
life. Like, and then you get into like the real world and you're like, okay, now I got work, other responsibilities, family, just a bunch of things going on. And so it's hard enough to like prioritize exercise time. It's like, how much time am I spending, also making sure that my machine keeps running well instead of just like keep doing, because I feel like most people take this approach of like, let me work as hard as I can. And then once my body breaks down, then I'll address these underlying issues. Um, how do you think about getting ahead of that and how much time we should spend a week on this?
Yeah. Well, I think for you, because you're a national champion and I don't know how many times All American, you probably did a pretty good job. Um, 4 times.
I
I
appreciate
mean,
it.
I don't know how much better you could be. I think the atomic habits mindset
Yeah, I
is
like
a
that
really
book.
good way to think. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been thinking a lot about. And that's kind of where I'm excited about the hands and the feet is
Yeah,
you really,
just for someone who hasn't read that book, walk us through that mindset because I really like that mindset.
I mean, I just feel like the atomic habits talks a lot about, at least some of the biggest takeaways I think about are the habit stacking, thinking about some of the things that you're already doing. Like every morning you wake up and you like have your coffee and you kind of stand in the same place and you sit in the same place. Well, you really want to do that, but you also need to like do something else. So stack that thing that you need to do with the thing that you actually want to do. So there's that habit stacking. Or if you really like to watch TV in the evening, great, watch the TV. But when you watch TV in the evening at the same time, the same show, with the same girl, like add in the rolling or whatever this thing that you're gonna do. So there's that habit stacking.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he talks about this too, but there's this sort of like um, flywheel, this momentum thing into thinking like doing a little something each day. It starts to get this momentum going, and that's kind of why I think like brushing your teeth is kind of a good analogy. It's like you don't really want to wait to have cavities and have your teeth fall out because like fixing that is going to be a nightmare. So we're just sort of conditioned into doing brushing our teeth, and God forbid we have to floss every night. That's kind of the thing that we need to do to take care of our teeth. So that's what I would be thinking is I'm trying to find something that you can do in very little time that yields big results, but it yields the biggest results by being consistent with it. So doing this thing for like 5 to 15 minutes a day doesn't sound like a lot, but it compounds over time. I think when we start looking at connective tissue and you start understanding it, it responds really well to pressure and time and stress way more than people think. You need to be in the same place for a really long time over and over again to actually make a change. For somebody like you, Ryan, or you, Max, it's like your patterns are so unbelievably strong from all the amazing training that you've done, but to actually make a breakthrough, you're going to have to spend a lot of time in an area, and that's kind of why I'm thinking like feet in the hands. It's like, well, you're going to spend a lot of time there, so why not spend like 5 minutes every single day? We'll just simplify it, but over time, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and better and better and better.
At Iron Summit, we are about getting everything we can out of our workouts and everyday lives. If you aren't wearing a pair of barefoot or wide toe box trainers, you are leaving gains on the table. The Fascia Athletics Ronin Ichi Minimalist Trainer is a perfect barefoot shoe. Not only does it perform like other major brands on the market, it is actually good looking. Even my wife says so. Get a pair today for 10% off with the code IronSummit10. Link is in the bio.
Yeah, I like that. What about like, what do you think about like rolling a lacrosse ball with your foot while you're working, or something like that? Or are you focusing mostly on hands and feet? Are you talking, kind of doing those blocks we've talked about while you're watching TV, or what do you think the
Yeah.
biggest bang for your buck is here?
I just laughing because it's like, um, yeah, sorry, is this light? Is that light
No, you're
killing
good.
this? Oh,
Yep.
Unimax says
yeah,
shades.
yeah,
Should have worn those sunglasses, man.
yeah. The block, I guess it's not a one size fits all. Um, it kind of depends on who I'm dealing with. It's like if we have someone who's hypermobile, um, somebody who's like stretching a lot and there's like a lot of decompression, they might actually need compression, right? They might actually need to
Mm,
lift weights and get stronger and create stability. Um, Versus like somebody like you guys, I don't know if a lacrosse ball is enough.
okay.
And you could think about it like, am I going to use something broad like my heel, or am I going to use something pointy like my thumb or my elbow, right? And if you look at living fascia, you'll see that it's like the universe, man. It's so vast, you wouldn't believe how complex it is. So to just think like a lacrosse ball or even my thumb or my elbow is really gonna make a difference. That's why I think it's really interesting thinking about something so pointy like a nail or an acupuncture needle, possibly something like that that's very, very pointy and being in one place for a really long period of time. So I'm kind of thinking like if somebody came in, depending on the person, you might go broad to specific. You might go from a lacrosse ball to a nail, right? That'd be like easy to hard. You might go from like a few minutes to, I rolled my foot out for 6.5 hours while driving today with the nails sticking in my back for 6.5 hours. I could have gone another 6 hours, but I've been doing this for years. I can't help myself. I mean, it's like the nails are just helping me get to a deeper level, to a more intense level. The more sensation I feel, the more I know I'm reaching places that I haven't been able to reach before. Probably not all that different than like some of the training you guys are doing, right? It's like you're going to the gym, you're like, why would you not, like, if you're not really getting a little sore or a little or pump, or like you're not like
Yeah,
failing
yeah,
anymore. I mean, you got to like push yourself a little bit. It's calculated.
yeah. You gotta get that feedback loop.
Let's see if I
Yeah,
can close this here.
you're good. So, you go from like the broadest pressure to the most, pointed pressure. Like, how do you, when you go to work on someone, how do you know how much someone can take pressure wise? And, Ryan, you had body work from Josh. Now it's pretty intense it's the most intense body work I've ever had.
Yeah.
Also, like maybe walk through some of the mental side of that.
Don't
'Cause
scare potential clients away, guys.
No, but I
I'm
just
like you now.
one plug for that though, and we got a video on Josh's channel and our channel showing some of the stuff he was doing too. But like it was I hate the amount of massages that I've had in college, and there were some good masseuses for sure, and it was super nice that we had massages. I'm not like downplaying that. It was just like it was more of like a like rub you down, feel good, like your mom could have done it kind of massage, where you get out of there and then you're like nothing different, like nothing changed. When you go to Josh, you're like you feel something change and you're going to be sore the next day. And I always felt like if I'm not feeling some kind of
Sensei.
yeah, you got to feel like it's kind of painful a little bit for it to feel like it's actually doing something. I have zero science to back that up, but other than just like it feels good to get like a massage, it doesn't. I just never felt like it actually moved the needle in any meaningful way, other than maybe like a mental relaxation type of
Yeah.
thing.
I also, secondary benefit, I feel like because I trust Josh, I know Josh isn't going to hurt me. When he's working on me, it hurts, but I know he's not going to do lasting damage, right? Like I have trust for Josh. So I've found it's like an unbelievable mental exercise. Like if you can relax into that type of pressure and pain, you can get really comfortable being uncomfortable, which is an awesome skill to have. So also, there's the whole like biological benefits from your body work, but I think there's also a lot of mental benefits as well. Just like being able, like if you can relax through some of the pressure you're doing and not like tense up or like breathe through it, then you're going to be able to like chill through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I think I don't really tell people this, although it may say some of this stuff on my website, but I was even just explaining to my mom that I think, having done this for 20 plus years and God knows how many people I've worked on, I'm helping you learn a lot about your body. I'm helping you learn a lot about, I'd like to just use the word sensation, but we can also say pain, but reframing the word pain into sensation. So as people experience things in their bodies, they're experiencing sensations they've never felt before. They've never felt sensations in places before. They've never been touched in places like, I would say 95% of people don't have abdominal massage, so they're experiencing abdominal massage and they have no idea what is in there. They don't know where their liver is, their stomach is, is he pushing on my kidney? Oh my God, So you have all these emotions, right? It's like Tony Robbins says, emotion is motion. Motion is emotion, right? So if you lack motion, you're sort of stuck. And so I'm working on you and you're emitting, it's like all these sounds, right? But I mean, they're stuck in there. Let's get them out of there, right? And so, and, getting movement and helping you understand that, hey, like I understand there's a little bit of fear around this, right? So I'm not going to like force it on you. I'm just going to sit here and let you experience the sensation. And it starts real high, and then it kind of dissipates and it's like a little war. It's a little battle. You're like, okay, I got through that bad
Yeah,
spot.
exactly.
Here comes another one, it's like, and it's just this thing over and over and over again. And eventually, you get kind of used to that. And to me, like Max, for example, you get to this point where you're craving that loop of like, there's something, I want to get past this thing, it's open, and we want to get to a deeper level. And to me, there is no separation between the mind and the body. The body is the subconscious mind, right? You're like experiencing these things in your body, but you're processing it.
Yeah. I also think I want to add I don't think pain's a bad thing. Actually, like a lot of what I do in life is to like pursue pain in one way or another. But like maybe people think that's bad or like I'm
You
crazy.
sicko.
Yeah.
Masochist.
Or that way, we like pain isn't a bad thing. Pain can be an excellent thing.
A
So
great teacher, I think.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
Josh, what made you decide to go down this path? Like obviously you've been doing this for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Because I would imagine like you get some people that are really receptive to it, but I'm sure there's also like you've probably lost some clients because they're like, hey, I want the like feel good massage. I don't want the like
Yeah, for sure.
painful, So what made you stay true to this and like actually believe in this and be like, this is the route that I need to go down. This is the route that actually helps people.
I mean, I'll answer that in a second. I think the funny thing is, I see some of my old clients and they're like, dang, Josh, you got jacked. I'm never coming to see you. Because when I did triathlon, I would like, I guess I feel like I kind of look the same, but without 20 pounds of muscle that I put on because I wasn't, eating. And I was thinking, a ketogenic diet was somehow healthy, and training copious amounts. And the vessels were just like staring at me like, Josh, you can be crazy.
Now you're a sprinter. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, trying to be. Jeez. Well, to be honest, like, how did I get into bodywork? I mean, at this point, I feel like it was honestly the hand of God, to be perfectly honest, because it seems wild that as a 21-year old, after my brother died, I was like, screw college, let me figure something out. I did have some incredible massage in high school. This girl I dated, her dad was a sports massage therapist, and he was a really, really great sports massage therapist, really caring guy, donated a lot of his time and stuff. So there kind of was that. Maybe the seed was sort of planted. Um, but it seems weird that I like did all the research and found a school in Boulder and was like, all right, yeah, like that's what I'm gonna do. I really want to like help people get out of pain, and here I am still doing it 20 years later. It's like it's kind of amazing, to be honest. Not
That's
Very
very
cool.
few
cool.
people last longer than 3 to 5 years in this industry, and it's mostly a
Sure.
female industry. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know if that answered your question, but
It does.
No,
And
I
like, I think it's really, like, how did you develop your style? Like, because I've had body work from you for 15 years, and you've always been like on the higher pressure, more, but it really has evolved to like you. I think what part of what makes you such a great body worker is like you've always leveled up your game. It's never like you just like stop and you're like, oh, I'm good now.
yeah,
You can get better.
yep, you can get
How?
better in just about everything. Um, I think it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
You're
it
like,
comes down, you know. I feel like I want to interject some like Jim Rohn saying here, like if you want more, you can become more, right? If you want to be attractive, if you want to attract more, you become an attractive person, and so you have to work on yourself, to become better. And so that's something that I feel like I've always had. I've always had this discipline and self-awareness to want to be the best that I possibly can be. So when I went to Boulder College of Massage, I guess it probably started when I feel like I was way more sportsy already, but I went and saw a massage therapist who smashed me basically. It was so intense. It was like I really thought I was going to be hurt, I really had to like what the heck is going on here? Somebody was like trying to kill me, and he was helping me breathe and get through that intensity, those crazy sensations from him going so deep. And I was thinking like, oh my god, this guy's going so deep. But after that session, I just remember feeling insane. Like I felt so good mentally, emotionally, and physically. Training because I was super obsessed with triathlon. I think that session was probably the start and inspiration of like this guy was pushing my limit, and it was like that resonated with me as an athlete, right? It's like I want to push the limits, um, and it wasn't like it was helping me process pushing the limits. It wasn't like, I mean, yes, it was deep and it was forceful, but it was helping me understand how I could make it less intense, right? Maybe through the breath, through surrendering to it, through accepting the intensity of it, right? Because it's so much worse when you're fighting it. So much easier when you just let go. It's like an ice bath, right? I mean, if you get into the ice bath and you just fight it, it's it's horrible. You got to like sit there and accept it and breathe, and then it just sort of dissipates. Honestly, it's the same thing as these things, man. It's like you get on it, you're standing on these nails, and you're like, um, and then after a minute or two, it starts to go down, and then you're like, oh, I wish I could turn this up more.
Yep.
So I've always sought that out. I've sought that out in other body workers. Experiencing that level of body work from other practitioners has really helped me. And then always working on my own body, doing it at levels to break break through break through patterns, and that has held true for 20 years as I'm standing on these nail boards as we speak.
Yeah, you definitely practice what you preach. Can you touch like on your theories of fascia and like how the whole system's interconnected? I know you have such a unique view on this, and I think it's a really cool area that I hope continues to get developed around the country, around the world. Because I
Yeah,
think it's so amazing how much we do know about our bodies, and then how much we actually like have no idea what's going on at the same time.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah. I feel like most people know very little about their body, but yeah, we all think we do.
Right, right. That's fair. Yeah.
um, I mean, I'm certainly not a foremost expert in fascia. I mean, I feel like I'm I'm taking the path of experience. I should probably spend more time studying and reading more in the science and being able to explain what it's made of and all this stuff. But more than anything, I'm trying to experience the changes myself. I'm sure I'll be coming back around down the road to be able to explain it more. But I mean, I don't know what you want to know. Like, I feel like yeah, I just feel like fascia is the universe, you know? It is the subconscious mind. It is the largest sensory organ in the body. It's larger than skin. I think skin has like 200 million sensory nerve endings, and fascia has 250 million sensory nerve endings. I don't know who's counting this. It's like some guy in a room counting marbles or something.
Counting
What?
November.
Two. um, yeah, I mean, Thomas Myers is one of the experts on fascia. He's the one who wrote the book Anatomy Change, which is a fantastic book to read, who talks about fascial lines that connect through the body. You know, we have like frontal fascial lines and posterior backside fascial lines, but then we have these spiral lines that, are contralateral that kind of cross our body and spiral around the body and spiral around down the leg. Um, I am trying really hard to sort of decondition things that I've been taught from other people and in school. And instead of looking at the body as a bunch of muscles, I'm trying to look at the body as a fascial suit, because that's kind of what it is. Fascia, like Thomas Myers says, fascia, the body's like, it's not like 600 muscles, it's one muscle with 600 pockets.
Yep.
So the,
Well,
the
well,
fascia is what connects all that.
yeah, all muscles are surrounded in fascia, and that fascia connects from one muscle to the next. So that's
Yeah,
it.
and yeah,
600,
and like, go ahead.
600 pockets of muscle within
Yeah,
one muscle suit. I like that.
yeah, and I'm trying to look at it. The body has like this movement system, and clearly the fascia follows the lines of the muscles and the vectors and stuff. Um, but when I look at a person, it's like I'm looking to see like where they don't move and where they're restricted. And to me, I feel like at least at this point in my career, that's because there is restricted, dry, stressed, aged, traumatized, whatever freaking word salad you want to throw in there. The fascia has been abused, and there's also another absolutely fantastic book called Architecture of Human Living Fascia. That book will blow your mind. It shows human living fascia, and when you look at that, you're just like, I can't see the body any other way now. And how fascia actually looks, and you can see all these like strands. They talk about how fascia is stronger than steel, and I mean, I can't imagine how strong you guys are. All the training you've done. All you've really done is develop more patterns from all the stress that you put on your body. So your body's just like titanium. It's
I wish.
wrapping everything. But it's like, there's like three major layers of fascia. You've got like skin, and then you've got like deeper layers of fascia that do different things. Fascia responds differently to different stimulus, to pressure, to vibration, to frequency. Fascia is the environment that I think it's like something like 70 trillion cells. All the cells in our body live inside our fascia. So I feel like fascia is the fountain of youth because when you look at like youth, they have um, elastic fascia, right? They can move really well. Um, I don't know what else I could say. I really like the idea, and David Weck talks a lot about this. Uh, is we really are a rotational spiraling system, and a lot of that starts in the hands and the feet. And so my idea is like we're trying to improve extension and squats, and lateral lunge. But if you had full rotation, everything would be open. You know, rotation is the root of all athletic ability is a saying I really love. When you look at like the best athletes in the world, their rotational abilities are insane. And so why wouldn't we have rotation? It would because of the fascia is restricted. So I guess the question is, how do you rehydrate the fascia?
Yep. I think that's super interesting. I also think one thing I think is really interesting about body work, especially from someone like you really understands this, is how quickly you can change the look of someone's physique just by like loosening up some of that fascia, help rehydrating some of that fascia, because you literally look bigger, more muscular, bubblier, more vascular. I know in like the really upper end of bodybuilding, a lot of these professional bodybuilders are getting. I keep trying to convince Josh to go see these like super high end body because it's huge. Like they're all getting really deep tissue massage like day before going on stage.
Yeah, yeah,
It's yeah, it changes the way you look even. It's
totally.
crazy.
I mean, you see that with I don't know what their relationship is with Michael Hearn. You know,
Yep.
he works with what's the guy's name? Shoot,
I don't know,
he
deep
has a
tissue guy.
yeah, yeah. Well, and it's not really deep tissue, but he's very meticulous about breaking up restrictions and fascial lines. But I would say he's more like I mean he would say he's sort of like a Michelangelo type of guy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But Michael Hearn practically credits him for keeping him the way he is, which I think is a pretty loud statement. And he keeps saying it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So, and he looks pretty good.
Yeah,
Looks
that's crazy. Ooh, so, what, Josh, Josh, how do you know when somebody's like, hey, this is a restricted area versus like, hey, this is something that needs to be surgically repaired? Um, when
Mm.
you're like working with an athlete, and obviously everyone's got some, you know, misaligned or non-symmetrical parts of their body or their muscle tissue, their fascia. But how do you figure out when you're working with somebody? Is it obvious to you if somebody's like, okay, this is like they just need a lot of work, or they might need like a surgical intervention for something like this?
Well, I mean, I'm not a doctor, so I'm also probably a optimist, you know. So I'm thinking there's always, honestly, there's a million things that we could do to help this person. And the question is, how much time and energy and money are they willing to throw at this to see what can we change? I don't think I can fix a torn pec, although that Jimmy Bluff, I think that's his name, he would probably say that he could fix a torn pec or something like that. But I just feel like most people are just dealing with tremendous chronic stress and trauma from not taking care of themselves and training too hard. And let's not forget, like, probably the two most important things are, sleep and nutrition, So I definitely can help people with their bodies, but if they go back and they don't sleep and they eat like crap, um, that's a big part of how the body's going to look and feel. If somebody comes in, like so many people come in with joint issues, the most common thing I would say is my doctor told me I have X level arthritis,
Hmm.
and there's really nothing that they say I could do about it. And for me, I just simply see a joint that's stuck because the fascia is so dehydrated and so stressed that it would, to me, I just feel like it's only a matter of time before that joint unlocks. The question is, how long will it take? How well can they handle the work? Are they doing the work behind the scenes? And unfortunately, 99% of people just by the time they get there, they don't want to do the work. They don't want to spend the time and the energy or the money. They want a quick fix. They want the surgical intervention.
Yeah, someone else to fix it for them.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean, most of the time, the more severe the pain, the more restricted and dry the fascia is. The fascia, it's a hydrated system. So I'm looking for this like supple, gooey, slide and glide type of fascia, right? It just sort of moves and you see it in people, it's like, oh, it just like moves. Like there's nothing there. It's just like, yeah. But other people are like, it's just like, oh, oh.
So you keep saying like hydrated versus dry. Are you meaning like literally like making sure that you're taking electrolytes, drinking a lot of water, or are you talking about just being able to move your tissue well? Like what do you mean when you're saying a dry fascia?
I mean, both, I would say, but I would say in a extremely, extremely simplified way, think of a garden hose with a bunch of kinks in it. We don't really have an immune system. We have a lymphatic system, right? The lymphatic system moves waste and fluids in and around the body, right? To excrete waste products. That's all fluid. And that's part of that lives inside the fascial system. So we want this system to be able to move, slide and glide and flow from beginning to end, right? So maybe from hand to foot through the body. But if it's kinked anywhere, then the flow can't get through. The energy, the hydration, the electricity. We're electrical beings. There is no there's a disconnection. You can even hear it where people talk about
it
their
doesn't conduce.
bodies. I feel disconnected.
Yeah. Well, non-hydrated tissue doesn't conduct electricity as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's
And you
so
get
true.
and you get like weaker, it's like,
Oh yeah.
I could work on you, man, and get you moving better and then just have you go and lift or go and wrestle and you're going to feel fantastic. You're going to feel unbelievable.
Yeah. Um, yeah, no, it's there. I feel like, and this is one of those things that like bro science has been on this for a while. Bro science theory, whatever you want to call it, that like we hold fluid in these different areas and you got to move it, but like real science is catching up. And it is fascinating. There's so many different things that affect that. But I think keeping your fascia healthy and your lymphatic system moving is like it's hugely underrated. It's stuff like it's been talked about since the '80s with like Charles Poliquin is Josh.
Yeah.
He, I think one of the best strength conditioning coaches ever. He was like super early on this train and keeping fascia hydrated and moving it, and now it's starting to become much more commonplace. And like the the elite trainers in the U.S. are all talking about it now instead of it being just a handful. One question I have for you, and it wouldn't be an Iron Summit episode, and I think this is a good topic to end on, is like, what are you doing for resistance training? Because I know you're also a huge fan of that. So, like, what do you do for resistance training? How do you incorporate that with keeping healthy fascia? Because I think a lot, like another huge misconception is lifting weights is going to make me tight and bound up. Yeah,
Yeah.
talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I hope to talk more about that in the future because I feel like when I go on social media, especially with like movement specialists and fascia experts. I mean, I can't believe the amount of acronyms that people are inventing around like fascia. Just, oh my God. And a lot of them, most of them poo poo just traditional strength training. And I mean, for me, like working with N1 training and Coach Adam Miller for the last 4 years has been real eye opening for me. I'm a huge fan of strength training and incorporating that into the system that I'm doing, right? I'm sprinting, I'm doing soft tissue work, I'm doing movement, mobility, I'm doing nutrition and strength training. I just feel like it works. It always has. And I have seen my body expand and get more mobile and more flexible from doing the strength training. I do think that doing the fascia work and the movement work and the mobility work has kept me progressing at a very fast rate. Um, it's been amazing to see like doing intense lifting, where I'm always doing 3 second eccentric lengthening moves, always stretching the tissue, always trying to do full range of motion, and knowing that it's stressing my body, but knowing that that's making me stronger, and then incorporating that with mobility, I just keep getting more range of motion. So I have a hard time believing that without weights, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now, as strong and as fast and as resilient as I am. So I feel like the strength training has really helped me prevent injury.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I think in like strength training, it adds muscle tissue, but it also does thicken your fascia and make your fascia stronger.
Wait,
And
no, fascia training's way different than muscle training. I'm
yeah,
joking.
I know.
No. You, you got a
What
jump rope to chain the fascia.
how, like is that what they like? What is the traditional argument for fascia training?
I don't know how. It just must be marketing, or I don't even know if it's a conscious thought with some of these individuals that they think that they can train fascia and not muscle. But I guess the what I hear is that you've got to do more like movement based things like animal flow, rotational things, maybe with cables, lots of kettlebell stuff, jump rope stuff, rotational stuff, um, yeah, jumping, vibrational stuff, which,
Yeah, it's all one system though.
right,
The muscle pulls on the tendon, which attaches the bone, and guess what? It's all just wrapped in fascia. So
yeah,
So
yeah, and I
lift the
just,
weights.
yeah,
yeah, and to be fair, like, I have, Adam Miller is, a world class coach, and I think what makes a world class coach is world class programming, and I feel like the balance of exercises that he's been giving me are well rounded and balanced, and it's helping balance out my body. Um, but it's not the only thing I'm doing. I'm sprinting, I'm doing the mobility stuff, but I do really feel like having a world class coach that balances out the exercises has been instrumental, right?
for sure. Yeah, you can't underestimate the value of that. And world class program where they're like, shout out to Coach Adam Miller, but he's taken into consideration like total volume and different lengths of each muscle on like a weekly, like just stuff that most people aren't considering. And when
Right.
you have programming like that, it's hard not to improve. You still got to go
Yeah.
do the work yourself, but if you're putting in the work, you're going to improve. That's what I've learned. If I listen to what Coach Adam says and I execute hard, good stuff happens
Yeah.
for
So,
sure.
wait, do I get to ask you guys a question?
Yeah, go ahead. Got
What
5 minutes.
5 minutes? Okay. Well, what
5
types
minutes.
of fascia mobility soft tissue work are you guys doing on your own? And
Ryan.
how much are you doing?
That's a good question, Max. I know you're kicking the the can down the road, but I will go first. So I honestly I think it's something I should do more of because I feel like it's like I was saying earlier, it's not something I do as much until I start feeling my body hurting. And I think one of the biggest things is like really making sure I get a good warm up in, really making sure like after, if I was just on my feet all day doing a bunch of things or a bunch of training sessions, like making sure that I'm rolling out and doing different things. But I don't think that, I dedicate enough time to something like this because it's usually an afterthought. And it's like, okay, if I have 45 minutes, like 45 of those minutes or 44 of those minutes are going to training, a minute of it is like thinking about, body work, recovery, warm ups, cool downs. So I think that's something that just like honestly I've gotten away with being, training while I've been younger. And then it's like as I get older, I'm like, I gotta like actually spend a lot more time with this stuff, because instead of just being more sore the next day, it's like you might actually hurt yourself. um, that's what I got. Max, where are you at?
Yeah. I see you, Josh. I'm kidding. I do see Josh. I do try and and if I can't see Josh, I try and get at least semi-regular body work. I will say having a kid is interrupted that, but I do think that's even if it's not you, Josh, it's still, as long as someone's like mashing my fascia with at least some level of aggression, it's hard for them to match Josh. But
Could you rephrase that, please?
no, I mean it just like that. And then I do think I also have made shifts in the way I train, where I really am really training full range of motion, like super stretched length and positions, and being able to control the weight there and then control it entirely through the range of motion. Like that has just kept me feeling a lot healthier. And I feel like my fascia is healthier when I do train that way. When I start to feel beat up is like for example, when I was competing in powerlifting, like a little bit of the inherent nature of powerlifting is you're trying to cut the range of motion. Like you're trying to squat to right where you can come out of that hole with as much weight as possible, or make the range of motion as short as you can on the bench. That's when I get hurt, is like when I'm trying to kind of cut the corners on the range of motion. I'm not like really training the length and positions of the muscle. But side benefit to that is you feel better, and I feel like it's better for growing muscle tissue. So it's kind of 2 for 1. I do think I could spend more time just working on myself, but also to Ryan's point, like I got to pick the high impact levers. I do that's why I asked you about the atomic habits though, Josh. I think like if there was some stuff I could do, like I'm gonna start rolling out while I'm on the couch at night, like watch a TV show or during the morning coffee, doing the needle boards. Like that's cool stuff. The needle boards is new to me. Last time I talked to you, you weren't like a fan of this, so I'm ready. Like that seems like that's an excellent one for habit stacking. So
Yeah.
that's my answer. How
Okay.
did I do? How did I do, Josh?
It's good, man. You guys were honest. Your confessions are accepted.
Josh, in all honesty though, if you come out with like a needle board or something like that, I will 100% get one.
I know.
Or like
Yeah.
get an affiliate
Dude,
for one of
Josh,
these
I
things.
gotta
Like you be
way
the guinea pig
before
and we'll jump.
we need
All right.
yeah. The next time, Josh, because literally Josh called massage guns like 10 years before they happened. You know what
Yeah.
Josh was using car buffers
Oh,
like
nice.
5 years before the first massage guns came out. And Josh was like, yo, we got to figure out a way to like make these.
Yep.
And then like the whole massage gun thing happened. So next time, Josh, next one, you're like, we're gonna make this. We're gonna do it. Also, like Josh has like had me using like clamps, like heavy duty clamps on
Oh
myself.
yeah.
Like, clamps, like putting it on different
The
muscles.
the wood clamps.
Yeah, that hurts, but it feels good.
Yep.
You
That'd
put
be
it like
good for
on
the
your
hands.
back.
You could do
Yeah,
like here and your
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, Josh, honestly, I do
motivated.
think there's like a need in the market for like a 5 minute a day that you can figure out how to
Yeah.
habit
Massive,
stack.
yeah, like massive stuff.
Yeah, and I
Even in
think
the
that's
massage
something.
gun, it's like you're actively doing it. It's doing some of it
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I'm
not
on
to
it.
flip
I'm
that
on it.
on you, but once you figure that out, like 100%, we're supporting you there.
Okay. I'll hold you to it.
Okay. Well, hey Josh, this has been awesome. Really appreciate you, man. And we'll link your YouTube video. Got some awesome stuff, guys. Check out Josh's Shadle's Table on Instagram and YouTube. We got some videos up with him too. And then like best of luck, and we're
Yeah,
excited. We'll check in with how everything goes.
Tag Iron Summit and like some of your results, and
Okay.
we can follow.
All
And
right.
hey,
Sounds
actually,
good.
one last thing, Josh, we need to do. Let's do a collaboration day where you take us through a sprinting workout, and then we'll go get a lift in like another day.
All
We don't have to do it
right.
the same day.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
we'll see Big Max on the track, and then we'll get you in the gym with us
I
too.
have one rule. 200-meter max.
No, 400.
200 meters.
400's a man's race.
200-meter max.
We could, as long as I watch you guys do the A skip, I don't care, and everybody else gets to see you do it.
Okay. Let's do it. Absolutely. I'm in 100%.
That'd be fun. Let's do it.
You're
All
the
right,
man,
guys, this
Josh.
was
Thank
fun.
you.
All right. See ya.
Catch you later.